time to get started. Whoever will join in. So, good evening, everyone, and special welcome to our guest, David. Welcome aboard. Glad that we've got the AV working. Thanks for testing that earlier, Peter. I know you were setting things up, and I think we got off to a decent start. So this is our August mixer for the summer, or one of our two meetings in the July-August time frame. So, we will not be having a regular meeting later, 2 weeks from now, as we normally would, postpone for our summer break. So,
wait a minute. I don't think that's quite. I think it was July and August.
Right. Well, it's still August, right? So
no, but September. Oh, yes, you're right. I apologize. Yeah, I'm all packaged here.
Yeah. I was second guessing myself, but realizing, this is the first meeting of the month. So
yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so I will start with our preamble, which notes that all of our meetings are recorded and made available to the general public on our YouTube channel. By participating in this meeting, you agree that you accepted these terms and do not disagree. And please, as mentioned in Peter's announcement on the group Sado, mute your mics. We do have and utilize the hand raising feature of Jitsi. So without further ado, we will be having our usual roundtable after David gives us a presentation. And that'll be it pretty much. As all of you know here, other than David, this is a fairly informal meeting, so I can jump in and out of the conversation. And that's that. So if I'm not mistaken, I did take time to look you up on QRZ, David. So you hail from Brampton, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what the database says. And you're going to be giving us a little bit of a going over your experiences with Asher Farhan's zBitx. Or I think, as he still calls it, zBitx. I think he, from what I recall, likes to say out each letter. But just because we can these days, I'll tell you that the zBitx is a compact, fully assembled QRP software-defined radio. It's a transceiver that is powered by a Raspberry Pi and has a touchscreen. All band, all mode portable radio, can operate CW, sideband, FT8, and other digital modes, and has a built-in speaker, microphone, log, waterfall display, and more. And somewhat future-proof, because things can be just added with firmware updates. But anyway, not to steal anything away from your discussion, David, I will turn the mic over to you.
You basically just did the whole presentation.
Oh, come on. That was just AI. I'm sure you can do better than that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I'm still located in Brampton. So hey. I got the ZB. Let me just power it up here, and then I'll power up the presentation as well. So let's see. Oh, that's not going to work. You know why? It's probably because it doesn't see a face on me.
Yeah. I think that's a trick. You have to hold it near your face just like you're doing. So yeah, that's good.
So it takes about, 30 seconds or so to boot up. I can still see it's still booting up, and then you'll start seeing a waterfall when it actually completes its boot up process. Almost there. There you go. The one thing is this display is not the greatest. All right. So you can see, based on my hand, it's pretty small. So I got it I was one of the first, I guess, to order when he released it in December. And I think it came in around April, somewhere thereabouts. So I haven't actually used as much as I had hoped for during the summer. I'm just going to flip over to the presentation here. Entire screen. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
So,
Okay, got it.
So it's based on the SBitx, which was just regular components through hole, and then this version is all pretty much SMD components that he shrunk it down. He says it's SDR, general coverage, so it goes from around 80 meters to 10 meters. And when I bought it, it was roughly around 270 Canadian shipped. And with customs, it was around $30, $35. So again, 80 meters to 10, all modes. On the unit itself, through the front screen, it does FT8. And then there's a way, well, okay, I'll get to that afterwards. Around 5 watts is the maximum I've been able to get out of it. And the screen is touch screen. You can use your fingers. It's got the little stylus, but it's not the type of, I guess it's the resistive type touch screen. It's not the type of touch screen that you get on your smartphones. And it's pretty light, even with the batteries, 415 grams, and hybrid superhet, and it's open source. So it's got a built-in real-time clock, logging, CW tools. You can decode CW. I haven't had much luck with that. And there's also a keyboard that comes up that you can enter your text, and it'll send out that as CW as well. And there's apps built into it because it's got a Raspberry Pi 02. So you can connect a external monitor with HDMI, or you can VNC into it and run the apps that way as well. And you can install other apps that are capable with rig control. And so one of the interesting things he ended up coming with, there's actually 2 Raspberry Pis in the radio itself. So you got the main computer, which is the Raspberry Pi 0, and then he's got a Pico. So he uses the Pico to control the front display and the speaker, and the rotary encoder on the front as well. So it's affordable, cheap, excellent, I guess, for QRPers. Throw in your backpack. Actually, it'll fit into a pair of pants, their pocket almost. I guess he designed it so it can be hacked, but the way it's designed, and you'll see some of the other photos, it's pretty compact. There's some people doing a couple of the changes in hardware that they've noticed that, I guess, were overlooked in the original design. So they're trying to deal with that, trying to do little tweaks here and there. It's, again, lightweight, perfect for POTA and SOTA. Open sourced. He's got the schematics available on GitHub. And source code to the application. It was created by Ashar Farhan. I haven't done any of the other digital modes like Alpha FL Digi or SSTV. I've just been using it through a little bit of voice and mostly FT8 in the field. The touchscreen, again, it's not the greatest, but it works. And you can use it without a PC. And again, you can use it with the external monitor or VNC. If you have a laptop, you can just VNC into it and control the other apps that way as well. I've done it with a tablet as well, but the tablet screen was somewhat limited as well, like the resolution. You couldn't get all the apps running on it. So that's oops. So that's what the FT8 screen looks like. You can basically just hit the down at the bottom. You see the macros. So you can just hit F1, and it'll start doing the call and basically, the whole automated process of FT8. One thing I've noticed, like I was using it on Monday. Yeah, I was out near Orangeville in a park with my son. And he was having a birthday party there with his friends. And so I was doing radio on the side. One thing I noticed that it misses a lot of calls where I will connect to a station and then I don't get any final 73s to complete the QSO, I guess, if you will. So I don't know if there's a bug in the software. I have to still look up on the mailing list to see if anyone else is encountering the same thing. That's the inside. It's not showing all the other, like the Pico, because that's connected to the display. I couldn't find a photo at the time. The Pico is kind of connected to the display on the back where it gets the data or displays the screen. Sorry, it grabs the data from the 0 to the Pico to display that information on the screen. Okay. So it's easy to set up. Pretty much pulled out of the box and went from there. I didn't really read the manual initially. Audio is okay. There was a couple of issues that have been fixed in the most recent firmware update. There was a lot of clicking sounds and like digital noise coming through the speaker, which was the data coming through the I2C square, I2C bus. But again, he's fixed that. Battery life is not the greatest. I've got about six pairs, so I can swap them out pretty quickly, and they last 1 to 2 hours. And I've had it run for a good 3 hours just on the 2 batteries, just listening. So, but of course, when you transmit, it pulls quite a bit of power. Some people reported it pulls up to 30 watts out of the batteries for 5 watts out. That's one of the issues that several people have complained about, that you're consuming way more power than you're getting out of the radio itself. And there's a couple of guys that are doing some hardware modifications that have definitely improved it on their power usage and how much it pulls out of the batteries. And one of the other issues, which you'll see in a second, next slide, is the amount of heat this thing generates. It'll definitely cause almost a burn if you have it on your lap. It's the audio is really good on it. After the last firmware update, doesn't have that clicking sound like a lot of people were complaining about. And I tried using an external microphone on it. The mic I was using was getting a lot of feedback, so I've just done voice through the internal microphone that's built into it. And I get good reports with that. So 5 watts, I usually tend to run it around 3 watts to, especially with FT8, to avoid the overheating in it. No built-in antenna tuner. I use a simple, I can show you in the after I go to the video, I can show you the type of antenna tuner that I use. So some of the issues I've encountered is the display outdoors is pretty bad. You have to really shade it to get to see it. It's not, again, like a cell phone's screen. It kind of reminds me of the screens of, the old external GPS units that you would pop into your car. It's that type of screen. So if you get too much brightness on it, it gets really hard. I think that if there was a way to control the contrast on it, I think that would increase the visibility outdoors. Running FT8, it gets hot, like really hot, to the point that it almost seems like that solder could actually start melting. And what else? The Raspberry Pi, sometimes there's a little bit of hesitation when you're flipping around, like doing activities. Flipping around like the menu systems and frequencies. There's a little lag in there. I guess the other one is people are hoping that eventually Raspberry Pi company will release another Zero that will be more in line with the Raspberry Pi 4, the full-size computer. Because right now the Raspberry Pi Zero is pretty much the speed of a Raspberry Pi 3, maybe just a little tad faster, but not that much more. You can do a lot more digital modes besides the FT8. I haven't really gotten a chance to do that with it yet. Let's see what else I have here. So it's a great QRP radio. I think, I guess with a version 2, if they fix a lot of the issues, would be an awesome radio. It's great for the price. I think for SDR radio that is in your pocket, that you don't need to run an external computer. Yeah, I think overall is the mods that need to be done with hardware to deal with the power consumption issue and the heat. And yeah, I found quite a few bugs in the software that still need to be addressed. There's another group of guys that are working on a possible fork of the firmware for it. They did a new version of the software for the zBitx, and I think a lot of people kind of had the radio on the shelf until this new software came out, and it greatly increased the usability of the radio. And I think a lot of users of the zBitx are still waiting for this software to be released, and hopefully it addresses a lot of the issues that a lot of the users still are encountering right now. So this was my setup at the park on Monday. So my antenna is a 17-foot telescopic whip, and I just use I think it was like 5 or 6 radios sticking out. So the maximum that antenna works is at 20 meters. You can see in the photo right beside the zBitx is my antenna tuner. And it does a really good job. I don't have to play much with it. And that's the screenshot down below is a little bit of the FT8 reports from PSK Reporter. And at the time, I pretty much used just 3 to 4 watts during my activity.
Sorry to interrupt, David, but oh, well, there we go. There was a question a couple minutes ago. There a hand raised. But I see you were close to the end, so I suppose we can have our questions shortly. So
yeah,
but yeah, that was it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks very much. Thanks for the overview there. Let me get my camera back on. So, Charlie, please go ahead. You had your hand up.
Yeah, I did. I was curious about the heat that you reported. A friend of mine has one of these radios, and I played with it for an afternoon in early June, running FT8, and didn't notice it even getting a little bit warm. So I'm curious, if perhaps your antenna wasn't a good match, or you were, when you noticed the heat, you weren't running with the tuner or something of that nature. I'm just thinking it might have been SWR that's causing the heat. Because
I made sure that I usually always, I guess I'm a little, I always try to keep it 1-to-1, because I know obviously if it's a higher SWR, the heat can start to be produced there. I did go out, I think it was early May. I was out doing a bit of FT8. I was there for an hour, and it was still cool. It was like 15, 16 degrees Celsius outdoors. And I ran it for the full 1 hour and didn't feel, it was warm, but nowhere close to how hot it gets over the summer. Like, Monday was 27 degrees Celsius. And that's when I really noticed it.
Okay, yeah, when I was playing with it was actually field day that weekend, so late June, and I don't remember how hot it was, but it wasn't blistering, I think, up here.
So you can see the backside is just aluminum plate. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, there. Sorry.
By the way, David, you might want to stop sharing your screen. We're seeing that still as and it might be messing up some people's view. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
So you can see the back of the radio is just an aluminum plate, right? There's no fins or anything.
So, sorry, the whole case is essentially the sink?
Nope. The back plate is aluminum. The rest of the case is 3D printed.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, so I'll show you this. So there's the power. This one is the USB connector that goes to the Pico. And eventually he plans to have a way of controlling the radio through CAT. There's another USB here that he's covered up, not sure why. That's to provide a keyboard and mouse. And then the HDMI. So this is for the CW key, microphone, and ear. And then it's just the antenna and the battery. Oh, so one thing I forgot to add in the presentation, this is kind of interesting. some people aren't careful with how they're putting in the battery. I don't know if you can see in there. So he put it on the 3D print, the positive and negative. So some people have put in them backwards. And so the power is here, right? Oh, Jesus, sorry. But the regulator is down here. So from here to here is your fuse. So the trace burns up if you put it in backwards.
Ooh.
And there's been a few people reporting that they've done that, pretty much burned up the one trace that provides the power down to the regulator and just fries the whole thing.
And that's simply because they put the batteries in not correctly, like they're not following the. Yeah. Okay. No diode protection.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a few people that have had their hands up. First was Peter. Please go ahead.
Great, thanks, Dave. That's quite a lot of detail in there. You mentioned something about people working on different modifications out there. Have you noticed any interesting mods that they're doing to this radio?
There's one guy, he redid the I think is one of the power sources for, I don't know if it's the power transistors, and then rewound the coils. And he said that he reduced the power consumption from the batteries and still maintained the 5 watts on it.
You know what the output transistors are right now?
No, not off the top of my head.
One other thing I want to note was when you were mentioning about the final 7.3, that's not unique to this radio. I hear lots of people complaining, and I've noticed that myself. So I'm not sure there's a fault with the radio. That maybe there is something else going on. I don't know, but I know that has been a common complaint around about something's going on about not getting that final 7.3. And another comment I have is for cooling. I think you had your rig up on an angle, and so that kind of helps with the movement of, because that's relying on really basically the natural convection of air, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the ambient temperature gets to a certain point, that's maybe I think you might stumble on something. It's the ambient temperature that's contributing to the problem. And there's probably only one other way to get around that, and that's either a different type of heat sink on the back of it or a cooling fan, but you're already in a problem with battery power, I suppose, in some ways. But anyway, and I think, one last comment. And you found that the resistive screen is the problems you have with it. It's not responsive. Is that the issue, or is it just the contrast that you've noticed?
The contrast is like really hard to see. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost, again, it looks like one of those, the screen for the old GPS is like, if you get the sun hitting a certain way, it's really hard to see.
Okay, thanks, David.
Okay, Wayne, you did have your hand up earlier. Did you still have a question for David?
No, that was completely an accident. I was trying to hit something else. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Okay, then Frank, please go ahead. You've got a question for David?
Yes, just a quick question, Dave. Does it come as a full assembled kit unit, or is it available in kit form?
No, just fully built. Pull out of the box and you're good to go.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, and Drew, please go ahead.
Yeah, very good. That was an interesting. I've always wondered about these radios. I have a True SDX, which is another version, kind of, but it doesn't have the built-in computer that also. Yeah, there you go. And I see you have the Retrievus powered mic. which I also use. Did you find with the zBitx that you needed to have the same style of modification to get the decent sound out of it?
Sound coming out of it is no problem whatsoever. You know what? I have it. I left it in my car. I built, like just an adapter for the microphone to be used on the radio on the zBitx.
Yeah.
Audio coming out of it, no problem whatsoever. But the problem is, as soon as I key up, I get feedback like crazy on that microphone.
Oh, interesting.
So I have another, HT walkie or microphone.
Yeah.
But I didn't happen to have that one with me at the time, so I got to try to see if that one's got the same issue. The thing is too is that the way it's wired up in the radio, the ground comes from the audio, like the speaker side.
Yeah.
So if I disconnect from the back of the radio the ear connector, then the PTT won't work.
Right.
So I have to have the ear connected, which then pipes the audio through the microphone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have to try just a regular unpowered mic to see if that makes any difference. Because I've tried with the powered mic and I just get like major, I guess, feedback or like RF power coming back.
Yeah, because I use that powered mic with the True SDX with the complaints that, although I never had that much problem. I used it once without it, and it was fine. I thought it was okay anyways. But it's interesting that machine has the built-in Pi that does all of the digital modes. Whereas the True SDX, you have to have an external computer. You can't do that. So that zBitx, really carries the whole package. It looks as though it's also built to have a computer style interface.
Like I've just give me a second here. So I have one of these keyboards in which my plan was.
Yeah.
So it's a Bluetooth keyboard.
Yeah.
So my thought was I would have the tablet with me, the keyboard, like if you're out in the park, to be able to get into the desktop to load up the other apps and stuff like that. But the resolution on the tablet is not, I think it's 800 by 600 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, that resolution still doesn't allow a lot of the apps to work. Like when you VNC into the radio, it's like a full Linux desktop.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask you that. I was wondering if you were VNCing into it, because that's basically what I do, and the resolution is far superior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's sorry, I forgot to add. So there is a web interface. So if you don't want to use, I guess I should have added that to the slides too, which gives you a lot more options than what you see on the built-in screen.
And is there external monitor hookup to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's basically all the access to a Pi that you would like.
Yeah.
In addition to like the SDX style 5-watt radio.
I've hooked it up, and it's if you hook up a keyboard and mouse to the zBitx and to HDMI monitor, you have a full-blown computer right there. It's you bring up the browser, you can surf and play YouTube or whatever from the radio itself.
That's pretty cool. Well, thank you for your time. That's great.
Okay, Ken, please go ahead.
Yeah, just wondering, when you plug in the external mic, does it disconnect the internal one?
Yeah.
It does? Okay. How about trying a couple of ferrite cores on the mic cord?
Yeah, I thought about that too, and I have one here sitting at the desk, but I didn't have it with me at the park, so I got to try that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Apologies there. I got kicked out. Hopefully you can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I do have a comment here. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone else here in this group. Is my video feed coming back or not yet?
Not yet.
You're actually in twice, Eric. Actually, I just got kicked out as well. Well, there's your.
Yeah. Yeah, must have had a little glitch. I think my video's back on now.
And you also have another screen going as well.
Oh, I see. Yeah, this.
Yeah, so do I.
There, it just
Mine
disappeared.
I don't know what's going on. I got kicked out twice tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Must be
Anyway.
Dave.
There is some server issue because I also got kicked out a
Yeah.
couple of minutes back when I was trying to turn on the video.
Okay, so before I get kicked out again, I don't know if anyone else has one, but there is, and this is going to be bad, probably worse than yours. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be focusing at all, but
Definitely.
that is the SBitx for reference. So about 2 hands, I guess, worth of board size there. Kind of a mix of through and SMD, maybe half and half, as you can see. It takes a full-sized pie. Has quite the heat sink on the back of it, as you can see. All right, so that is it there. This was a V2 board. Picked it up from Farhan last year at FDIM. But so there, the V2 I have not put onto this yet. So, main difference is size, twice as big. You do have, depending on, I guess, which, I'm not sure if he changed the power specs for the V2 to the V3, but it was originally billed as a up to 40 watt radio. Now this V3 seems to be capped at 25 watts, so maybe it was a little over ambitious for the V2 that he had, but anyway, I've only used it CW. That's been my only use of it, but worked just fine with an HDMI monitor. I have yet to hook up a touchscreen to it or anything, but with a mouse and monitor, no issues. It was actually quite nice. So can't remember how much I paid for it, to be honest with you, but I think it was in the $180 US range, something like that, and that was just for the board. Enclosure optional. My plan was originally to build my own enclosure for it, which, as you can see, has not happened yet. But does work just as is, and pretty happy with his build quality. So, Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick question for David. Do you recommend this radio? Like, do you think this is something that would be a worthwhile investment to play QRP radio with?
It is, but I think I want to almost hesitate to say wait until a version 2, because in the mailing list groups lately you see a lot of guys trying to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were expecting more, but I'm okay to wait to see what other guys are capable of modifying it, because obviously they want to maintain the same kind of footprint and not put it into a bigger case or anything, to see if they can tweak it. Like there's a group on Discord, and they seem to have some pretty good luck with the modifications. So I'm just waiting for them to officially document them.
So maybe we should pick up one of the used ones that people are trying to unload. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Maybe a good value there. You're right. Yeah. Drew, please go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned the finals. I think the BS170 is probably the same as the True SDX, so they're pretty fragile. I was just wondering if a lot of the mods you're talking about are swapping out the finals for other finals, that sort of thing.
It's not the 170s, I know. No.
He switched to IFR 510s a while back. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the True SDX is on those or not.
I'm just doing a quick Google here to see.
Yeah, I forget.
See what it is.
That seems to be the weak link in the True SDXs. You know, thou shalt not push them at all. Little bits fly out.
Magic smoke.
Indeed.
Yeah, I like on the weekend when I was using it, I started like realizing it's like, holy cow, this is getting hot. Like I was afraid that I was going to start melting something. If it wasn't the finals, it'd be the 3D printed case or something.
Jesus. Anyways, that's
Okay.
I just wondered about that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any final questions for David? No.
Oh, and sorry, just to add, I heard that they were planning a version 4 of the SBitx, but because I guess they got so flooded with orders for the Z, they've had to kind of put production on that on hold, or that was the rumor.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, thank you very much for the presentation and your time. Appreciate that.
No problem.
So yeah, we're going to continue on with our meeting as we do, which is essentially going around the virtual table and discussing any projects or if you need any help from fellow members and just saying what's going on your bench.
And he's gone again.
I thought it was me. Everything froze.
Yeah. Nope. Here I am again. The ghost of OY. I like that. Yeah. Okay. So while I'm still here in duplicate form, the screen has totally rearranged on me. So, Peter, what's going on in Kingston?
You're Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. I think you're okay now. Did he just get kicked?
No, he laughed.
Wow.
All right, is this any better?
Yeah, that's okay
good
now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have spent a fair bit of time in the shack in the last few days. I've been working on the backplane project, or at least my part of the project, which is a receiver. So spent a fair bit of time like that on that, and I sent off to JLPCB the Gerbers yesterday, I think it was. So hopefully I'll get them back in a couple of weeks. And prices are still nice and cheap. I think it worked out to about $1.10 a board or something like that, $1.20 a board. So I can't mill a board that cheap. So, as a matter of fact, I can't even buy a PCB board that cheap. 100 by 100 millimeters copper PCB. It's going to cost me more than that, just a bare board. Now I'm getting something back that's got silkscreen on it and double-sided, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can wait for a couple of weeks, that's a good way to go. Other than that, I think that's about it from my end, Eric.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much, Peter. Cherry, you are next on my screen. What's happening in your neck of the woods? Nope. Still muted?
Find the mute button. Finally found it. Nothing much on my side. I've been, one thing I would like to say is I've been trying to switch on my 705 more often these days, and been trying to listen to it while I'm working on the site sometimes in the night. I've been trying to listen more than I transmit. I also hooked up a new battery system, not a system, just the battery. Like, I got a new battery here. Was new before, when I bought it 2 years back. Never used it. Started using just from last week, and also did the choke system here. Was trying to experiment, to get the noise down, and also as a stress buster, I was using it to to escape from a little bit of stress from the last 2 weeks. Been winding some toroids and so on, like this. And last week, been at a Hamfest, and it was wonderful. I forgot where it was actually.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry one. Yeah, so thanks for reminding. My Hamfest friend Eric.
Yep.
I met there at the Hamfest, and also plan to visit Hanover this week, most probably together with Eric.
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. I've got a family commitment that interferes with it. So,
Okay,
have
no
fun.
problem. See you at the next one.
But,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Save something for me for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, sure will do. Okay, that's all what I have got on my side. Yeah, nothing much, but yeah, these things, a little bit of listening, a little bit of playing with chokes and so on. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Have you gotten any results with the chokes on the line? Have you tested it? Not yet.
Unfortunately, I did not take a video before, but I winded it up and then tested it. Yeah, it does make a little bit of difference, but I think I need to wind a little more better. Probably much closer winding would help reduce some noise, I believe. The one mistake I've done is I did not take a video or anything before, I did this, because when I attached it directly to the, the antenna cable coming out from the dipole. So it's a little bit hard to take it out now and then measure it again and rewind it back. But it does help a little bit, for sure. This I got it from MKX mic. These are like cores which can be detached from here, from Radio Shack actually. I think it does improve a little bit, and this is just the 240-43, which I kind of, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 windings, 11 wounds, turns. I did this with the 240-43 just to experiment. It does help a little bit, but I am not able to compare the data, the old versus, with this. Yeah, so that way I did not, do good data capture before, I did this stuff. So that way I missed some things.
Yeah, well, maybe at some point you can unwind and do it with and without, and then do a little presentation for us to, get some objective data on it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
That's probably in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, Drew, how about yourself? What's new with you?
Yeah, very good. Well, I was interested in Sherry's discussion there because I have noise problems too, and I haven't had a lot of luck putting common mode chokes on, so I'll be waiting to hear how he does, because it is an insurmountable issue here. So I do a lot of digital. But Phil, one of our CAREX members, has been pushing for ways to communicate around, and he was replaying with LoRa again. And I often talk to Peter about Joe's experiments with LoRa, but where I am headed is LoRa APRS. I think the built-in messaging capabilities of APRS, just put on a different frequency, is going to be the most reasonable way to use LoRa. So anyways, I'm playing, I just ordered a couple of 1 watt modules. So this ought to be interesting to see if I can get 1 watt to punch across a certain distance, because the little LoRa boards, they don't get very far. But it's, it's an interesting exploration. I thought it was all hype. And so I've looked into people developing software with it, and I guess I wasn't alone, because there is some seriously better applications So anyway, I'm doing.
Okay. Thanks very much. I think you were done there. It looks like you might have had a connection issue, but we'll move on.
Oh, sorry. Did you not hear me?
Oh, no, sorry. I just kind of winked out there.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, it really isn't earth-shattering, so carry on. No, sorry about that.
Okay. No, all good. Frank, what's happened in the last week since Dave and I saw you?
Well, basically, my learning curve has continued. I mentioned in the last episode we had together that I was playing around with building a sort of a digital dial, but kind of a retro one, a digital dial that would display an analog looking output. And I had a glance at one of the Solder Smoke episodes, and Pete had in behind him one of these screens working. So I said, hey, I like that. I think that'll look really, really good in our DCR receiver. So that's where it started. And since then, I've sure learned a lot because it was entirely new adventure for me. It started with a Raspberry Pi Pico programmed with Python. Well, it turned out that I'm doing a lot of research before I did very much, and it turned out that was not the way to go. The proper way to go was ESP32, powered by Arduino to do the software. So I had a ESP32 board in the junk pile, and I hooked that up and tried to get it running without success. So the problem was I couldn't get a port assigned to it. It just blanked out. So then I said, well, they come out of the junk box. What if I ordered a new one? So I did, and this week, and through DigiKey, and it arrived the next morning, which was fantastic. And I hooked it up and everything, and it had exactly the same problem. So then back to more research, and I'm learning part of the learning curve is I'm learning AI, and looking into that, I got all sorts of information about USB cables. And even though the plugs on them are identical, the cables are not necessarily identical.
You're talking about USB-C in particular, right?
Yes, USB-C.
Yep, they're all different.
There's, where's my...
Yep, can kind of see it.
Okay. So I found out that even though they look identical and you cannot tell them apart, there are two styles. One being USB-C for charging units like cell phones and things like that. And the other one was also a USB-C with a data line in it. One has 2 wires, one has 4 wires. That's the only difference between the two. So since I got those out of my junk box, my current problem is one is thicker than the other, so I assume that's the one that should work properly, and I can't get either one to work. So back to the drawing board, and away we go. So that's where I'm stuck at right now. Any suggestions? appreciated.
Well, I know that the website Hackaday had a series of articles about USB-C and all of the different protocols and the physical differences between the cables. So that might be something to have a look at. I will try to remember to send you a link to it, but it might be too much information, but it also might give you some clues. I've had very interesting times with even charging. Not all cables will charge all devices. Sometimes you have to use older cables. If you use a brand new cable that should be over-spec'd, it just won't work. So yeah, USB-C is an interesting beast. So
Okay, thank you very much for that. I'll look forward to the URL.
Yep. Okay. Drew, I believe, had your hand up.
Frank, I was wondering if that's a driver issue.
It could very well be. Could very well be.
That's one of the things you got to be careful with ESP32s.
Oh.
Any of their Arduinos, there's a chance it may be a driver issue. I'm trying to remember that.
I would believe that.
Yeah, CH1. There's a CH340. I think is what I've seen pop up before. And if you don't have the right driver, then the Arduino IDE won't go in. Are you programming this 32 with with the IDE or with Platform IO?
No, with the Arduino IDE.
And it's not connecting?
That's correct.
Won't find the port. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious it's a driver issue. I'm trying to remember, but it seems to me as though the ESP32 uses a USB micro or mini. It's not a C, I don't think.
It's a mini C.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd be careful about just check to see if the driver's correct.
Okay. I think I'm using the 340, but I'll look it up.
It should pop up as when you plug it in. It should pop up in Device Manager.
Okay.
Anyways, my 2 cents worth.
Thank you very much.
Ken, did you still want to comment?
Yeah, you got to be careful with these Cs. For example, I got a new Samsung phone. It came with a cord, but it's not a data cord. It's just a charging cord.
No.
Yeah, other people have complained, well, how come this doesn't work? Well, it's just for charging.
Yeah.
So in my car, I can hook up a full C connector to hook up to my my display, or I can use the one that came with it to charge it up on another connector. So that's the kind of options you get.
Sure, I'm sure somebody's going to come out with a little device that will tell you what kind of cable you have, and then you can start labeling them all. So much for universal standards, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, these many USB things, I think there's got to be a dozen different styles and shapes.
Okay, so we got a bunch of hands going up here. Hassan, you had a comment?
Yeah. I tried it yesterday. Same issue. Remember how I solved it? But all I can think of is there's a zBitx program you always have to run when you get any USB device, and it installs. There's like multiple USB drivers. Some devices will say I got to use the Win USB. Others will say it's libUSB, and somehow you just go to the internet, Google around, and they tell you which one to use. So you got to pair the right driver with the right USB device, and zBitx is the only program that seems to do that. Everyone tells you to use it.
Yeah, we used that program for one of our projects a while ago, and it helped out tremendously with the software.
Okay. I guess the other thing is, as other people have mentioned, switching cables helps sometimes. We found that that works in our lab. And then the power issues with, if you're using the ESP32, when the radio starts transmitting, it draws a lot of power. So you really do need to have good power connected on there. And it could be that if your design is using two of the pins, then RxTX, then it may be that those are actually like they interfere with the communication on the USB. So there's a gazillion things that can go wrong, but if you tell me more, if you send me the details, I might be able to remember something.
Okay, it's pretty basic. I mean, I haven't even started programming it. I just want it to recognize which port to use.
Oh, it won't even do that? Like, it won't even recognize the device?
No, it won't even come up with a port.
So, yeah, it could be that. It could be the ZADIG program is the first step. Once that you have that, it should work right away. So there's always instructions on the Arduino IDE and ZADIG. So that's the first thing I try.
And David, please go ahead.
The ESP32 comes in two different chipsets, though, the CH340C and the CP2102.
So that might be a clue.
That could be a clue. I'll have to check that.
And I've had pretty good luck with the Dollarama USB-C cables that provide data as well. So,
okay, thanks. Ken, please go ahead.
Yeah, the 2102, you had to have special cable or something to get by the lock on the software, whereas the 340 was a replacement that didn't lock out anything. And I don't even remember ever seeing a 2102 chip in anything lately. It's all been the 340, 341, and I think there's the 342 now as well.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I know, Wayne, you had your hand up again, but perhaps that was just a slip of the finger.
On purpose this time.
Oh, okay.
I'm unfamiliar necessarily with the exact microcontroller you're trying to start for the first time. Some of them come with a boot button on them, and the mechanism is usually you press that button down before you plug in the cable, and then you release it, and that allows I don't know what it's doing. I think it's telling the microcontroller, listen, and otherwise it doesn't. So it's used in some cases. I think it's for flashing the bootloader or telling your own computer and the microcontroller that it's safe to talk now. I've had that same kind of problem. I haven't identified it as actually a problem with the cable, because I'm not using a Type-C cable, but I've got a couple of dead microcontrollers because my computer won't talk to them.
I've used that button before for loading. In fact, I used it to load the entire Arduino operating system on one setup I had, and that's with a different microcontroller. But this ESP32, it actually has two buttons, and one I sure is for loading, and the other one could be a reset button. I don't know, but I can try pushing them before I plug it in. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much for sharing your travails with us, Frank, and good luck. So,
Thank you.
all right, Ken, how about yourself? What I know you've been camping lately, so maybe not a whole lot activity on your bench.
No, not much. I'm hoping to get back on the bench late fall, early winter. Number one thing is to get all the crap out of there because I've got no room to work. One of the other things too, there was discussion a couple of weeks ago about using the QRP Labs filters with the DCR, and I tried doing it before, but because of the compactness of the board, it's pretty hard to work in. So I'm thinking the next couple of weekends I'm going to take another hack at it and see if I can get that to work. But if you watch the video, there is a big difference between matching the output of the filter to the input of the chip, and that it shows it plainly in the video I posted. But anyways, I'm going to try and get back to getting that QRP filter work. In hindsight, I wish I had in the beginning the two strips to plug in the filter to actually build a little adapter in there without having to modify the QRP Labs filter. And then that way I could use the DCR one or I could use the QRP one. But, oh well, I'll try and figure a way of getting it to fit on there properly. One of the other things I've been getting involved with is, I don't know if you guys recall, a number of years ago, oh, excuse me, Kevin did a cool chip session. The one he spoke of was the SI 4732/35 chips. It's a complete radio on a chip. And I was pretty intrigued by that. I was curious, and I am going to share here. I want to share the entire screen. Share. Okay, so you guys see this?
It's still coming at my end. Waiting. There we go.
Okay, so back then, at that time, this is the SI 4732 radio. It actually has two sides to the main board. You can fit a 32 on one side or a 35 on the other side. The difference between the chips is there's a couple extra pins on the 35 for some extra features, but both work. And it's driven by an Arduino Uno. And I ordered one of these, and it worked great. I had it for like 3 or 4 years. I took it camping. I listened to AM, FM, shortwave bands, ham radio. And then I think it was last summer, it died on me. So I haven't gotten into, looking at it or fixing it or just scrapping it altogether. But one of the more recent versions are, this one's probably about 6 wide, 8 deep, and maybe 2.5 inches high. Last summer, a new version came out, and it is this. This is probably, I'm thinking 3 inches wide, 3/4 of an inch thick, and maybe 1.5 to 1.75 inches high. It's very compact. It's basically the same thing as the full-size one, where the full-size one used a Arduino Uno. This one uses an ESP32S3. And when this came out, I was watching a ham who has a YouTube channel, and he gets sponsored by two people or two entities. One of them is the original designer of this radio, and the other one is a seller that apparently buys his radios from this guy. The only thing I could get it to work, this is a version 1. The only thing I could get to work on this thing was FM radio. No AM, no SSB, nothing would work. And the YouTube channel owner had posted a favoritism to the original builder, who happens to be a seller as well, and the second seller. When I couldn't get mine to work, I had contacted the seller. I told him what was going on. He agreed to send me a brand new one free of charge. I waited a week. No email as to whether it's been shipped or he was going to ship it. I kept contacting him, and he refused to reply to any of my messages. So I fixed the guy. I went to that YouTube channel on the thread where these two people are are sponsors of the channel. I posted that. The second guy, I told them what I did and what happened, and the owner of the channel removed the second sponsor, so he's no longer recommended to anybody on the channel.
Just to confirm, Ken, this is the ATS 20 that you showed us that you're talking about, right? The original one, yeah.
This is the original one.
That's the one that you had that you're discussing now, right?
No, this is the big one.
Oh,
this is the original big one. This thing.
You had a problem with that one too, if I recall. You were going back and forth with the guy, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's why I'm saying when I went on to the YouTube channel that I posted what happened to me, and the owner of the channel removed him as the sponsor.
Ah, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's to this very day, it still does not work. Actually, let me continue here. There's the original designer of this did an upgrade to a version 2, but did not release it because he immediately went to a version 3. And the version 3 upgrades the internal hardware and software. And the version 3 I ordered from the original buyer or designer and seller. And I took it camping with me. Holy cow. This thing worked like a charm. I could get everything on it. I was listening to DX on this thing from Rome, Chile. I think there was a Japan. I can't remember. I was posting on the WhatsApp about some of the stuff. But holy cow, this thing works. It's a little more expensive. I think about $10 to $15 Canadian, but it's well worth it. I can run a day and a half on one charge. We use it primarily for listening to the radio. Version 1 has I'll show you guys the actual units here in a second. They both have an actual small speaker in the back with a earphone plug on the side. Version 1 does not have an amplifier for the earphone, so it didn't work very well, and the sound of the speaker was crap. Version 3, they added an audio amplifier for earphones, speakers, headphones, whatever, and they also upgraded the little speaker in the back, and it sounds just as good as my Texan portable shortwave radio that I brought as well.
And Ken, those pictures on the bottom corners of the screen, is that the actual size of it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's actual size.
Wow.
It's like actually, let me just take a quick measure here. The width of them is just under 3 inches.
It's like just bigger than a credit card almost.
Yeah. 3 inches wide, 1.25 inches high, and 3/4 of an inch thick.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and it's really cool. This version 3 works really well. It costs a little more than the version 1, which doesn't work, but it's well worth it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing here and go back to, where am I? Here. So here is, so let it boot up. I don't know if you guys can.
Yeah.
Try, yeah.
A little fuzzy, but.
A little fuzzy, yeah. This is version 1. The only thing I can get out of it is FM. That's it. No AM, so no sideband, nothing. Maybe if I pull it back a little bit. So that's version 1. It's a piece of garbage. Version 3. There we go. Can you? Oh, I don't have it on. Let me turn it on. It looks like the same, but the interface is totally different. The version 3 has an RF amplifier added to the input. It has an amplifier for the audio, and there's some other hardware upgrades to it. So that's the front. It's menu driven with the encoder, which is really easy to use. There's actually a second version of the software for this now that I haven't tried yet. On the side is the headphones or earphones. On the back, on the left side of my screen, is a little tiny speaker, and it sounds just as good as my Texan portable shortwave radio. And then there's the power switch there. And then on top, USB-C connector on my left side. I don't know if and SMA connector for the a whip antenna. And you can also put an adapter there to go to a full size if you want to plug into an external antenna. But I am so surprised by how well this sounds and how well it works. So I took this with camping as well as my Texan, and I did a side-by-side comparison on the same frequency, listening to DX, and this one sounded just as good, and the signal was received just as strong as the portable Texan. So basically, when I turn it, let me just turn it off here. So if I turn it on, it goes through a software boot up. Where is the switch? Come on. Oh, it's not starting up. Oh, wrong side. That might help. So turn it on, and first thing it goes through an about saying what version of software, and then it takes you to the last frequency and mode that you were last on. And like I said, this thing is great. So if anybody's interested in getting one of these things, I have the seller, and just let me know and I'll let you know who the seller is.
Can you drop it in the chat?
Yeah, I sure can. Or actually, I'll have to do it later. So what I'll do is I'll post it on the SOAREX group.
Okay, thanks.
And that's what I've been playing with lately.
Okay. Very nice. All right. Thanks for that, Ken. Very interesting. Amazing the miniaturization that they're getting to with those. So it's about a, what, maybe 1/8 of the size of the old unit you had there from several years ago. So
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
Okay.
the old
Huh?
one had a full 5-inch speaker on the top lid.
Right.
Yeah. So the audio was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Hassan, what's going on in your neighborhood?
Nothing at all radio related.
No. It's got to
Not
be
this
something
time.
interesting related, though. No.
I redid my desk, so less clutter, monitor arm, ergonomics matter. Built a new PC, debugging those issues. But apart from that, yeah, nothing radio at all. Actually, now I think I do have nothing radio related yet. But I am planning to, once I get things settled a bit more, I am going to go back to SDR playing, so, and maybe FPGA work. But at the moment, yeah, holding pattern.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing that.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
One thing I forgot to add. This version 3, there's going to be a version 4 come out. It has built-in Bluetooth. He's planning on implementing Bluetooth for audio and something else as well.
So that's to connect to, I guess, Bluetooth headphones or a phone app or something, or all of the above, whatever.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, okay.
Oh wait, Eric, I do have one thing
Sure.
did go on.
Yep.
I met a guy who wants to do some AI machine learning stuff. So I told him, why don't you make a front end for an SDR, an FM radio, just voice controlled with AI. And he did it. And he's been waiting to show me. And we've been kind of trying to find the right time to get together and meet. But he did it in a few days. So voice control of an FM radio. Like set the frequency, go to this station, turn the volume up. And apparently he did it really quickly. So excited to see when that happens, because that could replace a lot of our user interfaces, hopefully. You could actually intelligently talk. Just imagine ChatGPT, but it could control a radio, and all the power of ChatGPT is in it.
Drew, you have a comment?
I have a question. I'm running Olama on a Mac, and it runs with the internet. What would he have used as his large language model to do that?
Oh, that's a good question. I think he probably used Olama as well. I think what the secret is, it's actually quite simple. What you do is you basically construct a large system prompt. It's like, imagine you're a radio. You only have accept the following. You output the following commands: frequency equals blah. This equals blah. This equals blah. You just describe in plain English what you want it to do. And anytime the user has an input, you just prepend instructions to it.
Yeah.
And it just works.
I'm just wondering about the actuators. Like, is it connected to something like, Ken's radio? How does he actually interface it to hardware?
So this is a software guy. So he is going to come to my house, and I'm going to interface it to an actual radio for him. But he just did the.
So more to follow then. This is quite interesting. I mean, what a magic machine to be able to, talk to it, turn,
Absolutely. I mean, all your user interface might just be a little microphone on the thing and a connection to a PC, and that's it. And the rest is all magic.
Now, if you just fit it into the other side of the Meta glasses, you got something.
but it's a new thing, because you can literally I told him what inspired me was I was tired of 5 different SDR programs, and they all have different menu configs buried so deep and all that. And sometimes I just want to do one thing, and I'm clicking so much and scrolling. It's just driving me nuts. So I'm just like, turn off this feature, turn on that feature, switch this to that. It should be that simple. And so this is one step towards making that happen.
That's pretty cutting edge. That's fun.
Oh, it is. I mean, the guy's impressive. He did it in one night with no directions. But yeah, like if we could hook this up to a real piece of analog hardware, that would be amazing. Although that's easier said than done. But I don't know what we're going to need to do to make it happen. But
Well, you can computer control almost any SDR, any like an IC 7300 tied to a voice control would not be that challenging because they're already geared to it, right? You're just sending commands down the bus.
that's correct. I forget if there's a way to do it through programmatically, or do you have to use some special rig control program like HEM?
Nope, it's special. The rig control is open. It's open source. You can get into it. I have software that runs an old FT736, and so the command codes they're hex command codes, and so whatever software you have issues that command code into the Max 232. So I mean, it's got to be. It's not an insurmountable thing by any means, and it gives me another excuse to be caught talking to myself and not really being crazy.
Yes. Well, that's it. I mean, you can have amazing conversations with ChatGPT, and for all you know, you could even just ask it about the radio. It can, like, all the intelligence is there. So if you just teach it the whole command language, you could discover stuff. It'll be just like talking to Jarvis or the Star Trek ship's computer. It's possible today. Like that's the magic of it.
Well, if you actually look up a software package called Jarvis, it was taken off. It was taken offline, but it's still around for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah,
and it is it's an Alexa standalone.
Okay.
And that might be good to play with as a source code actuator for real, to interface with the real world.
Thanks for the tip. I'll look into that.
It's a little hard to find, but I still have a copy of it somewhere. I never really got it. It was pretty clunky. It didn't work very well, and of course, the Raspberry Pi really wasn't up to doing this.
Yeah, the other thing is Qualcomm's new laptops, the Snapdragon X Elite, they have like 2 or 3 DSPs on board. So
Yeah.
I'm itching to just use them to do real-time FFTs with low power on a laptop.
Ooh.
And yeah, there's so much I want to try. I wish I had like, I guess I wish time could slow down by 2x.
Don't do it. You'll lose your marketability.
No, I wish I could clone myself. I wish I had a son who was into radio. Although I bet you he wouldn't be.
As a matter of fact, I can vouch from that. No, they aren't.
Kids do the opposite of the parents. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would turn them off radio completely.
Mine's
Even
a
2
needle-free.
sons doesn't help. So
No.
What's that?
Even 2 sons doesn't help.
Nope.
What's the magic number? 10? 12?
Yeah, an infinite number of monkeys. One of them will eventually.
Well, that's why
become a
we
hand.
have each other.
Yes.
That's why we have SOAREX.
And speaking of which, I want to let you know that I have a Heathkit 101 that you can maybe use as your first rig to interface with your for your project. So
Sure, but what is it? What is it? 40 meter? 10 20 meter?
It's a Wayback Machine is what it is.
Right.
I've seen it, but we had one at work, but what is it again? You have to remind me. It's a single band radio, right?
No, I think it's multi-band,
it's
at least 4 bands or so, something like that. But I acquired one when we were out at Smiths Falls for our 4 days in May North. Peter passed it on to me. It was from someone's estate, I think, or what have you. So I haven't done anything with it. It's got broken parts inside, mechanical parts, but yeah, it's all tube and, so I am being a little bit silly, probably not where you want to start. I think a 7300 would probably give you more happiness, instant gratification anyway. So
But the Heathkit makes for better headlines.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that'll be the phase 2. So
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, time is marching on, so we will move on to Wayne. What's new in your corner?
Okay, so just this week, 2 days before Peter, I want to add, I set off my boards for the backplane radio, and I'm doing the bandpass filter. So that's too hard to actually try prototyping at home because it's using a lot of SMD parts. So it's basically easier just to get the boards in and try to. The bandpass filter is designed so that you have a choice of going with QRP Labs solution or soldering directly on the board parts that you get from like DigiKey. You can't, the way it's being designed right now is you can't use the QRP Labs parts on the board directly because I've had to use SME parts, and I can't source the kinds of capacitors and things that I think the QRP Labs guys had like an infinite supply of. So I had to make slight variations in it, but we'll see. It's going to be a long time testing it because there's so many filters I have to build.
Okay. Yes, definitely. Sounds like a bit of a project ahead of you there, but anyway, lots of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Charlie. How about yourself?
Mostly the last month and a half, I've been either chasing grandkids or digging things in the garden, but I have done a little bit of radio things. I managed to pick up a 3D printer, an Ender 3, and Dave did a design for the backplane support system when we were at 4 Days in the North, and he finished off the design a couple of weeks later and sent it out. But my local library doesn't have a 3D printer, and the 3D printer I had, an older one, wasn't quite large enough. So I thought, break down, buy one. They're like $159 these days. Not a huge investment. So I bought one. I printed the backplane holder. And discovered a couple of minor changes that are required. I've sent those off to Dave, so he's agreed to do that for us, which is great. Once I get those back, and figure out where the holes need to be for support, be 100% certain of that, I'll be sending out for boards for the actual physical backplane. I don't want to do that too quickly because it's larger than Optimum, and 5 boards is going to be around $50 sort of thing. So not like the 5 boards for $5 that we're doing for most of the plug-in cards. But it looks pretty good. Having lots of fun with 3D printer. Also printed a bunch of toys for grandkids and some boxes for my Raspberry Pi and whatnot. So
nice.
So that's essentially what I've been doing radio wise for the last month or so.
That's okay. A new 3D printer will keep you occupied, that's for sure. I think you joined the club along with Peter, right? Because he just picked up an Ender, I think, in the last month or two, something like that.
Yeah, it could be. I recommended he pick one up from the shop in Kingston, which is where I picked up mine. And so I think he got the same one.
Right. Nice. All right. Very good. Well, thanks for sharing that, Charlie. Always appreciated. Howard?
Not much doing. Drew had his hand up there.
Yeah, actually, I did see it up and it's down now. But Drew, did you have a comment before we?
I was just going to mention to Charlie that I've had great luck by taking the STL into Tinkercad to modify slightly the models that exist. just in case you're inclined to just drop a few whole, if Dave's, something to try yourself.
Yeah, the issue is that there are 10 slots for vertical circuit boards to plug in, and they are not physically in the correct spot. All 10 slots that are in the file need to move over about 100 millimeters. So it's kind of
Yeah, that's a
it's
Dave.
fiddly. Yeah. But thanks for the suggestion. I'll
That's
play with Tinkercad later.
Yeah, that's a good tip because I never thought of that. You can pull STLs right into Tinkercad and keep modifying. So, yeah, good to know. All right, sorry, Howard. Thanks for pointing out Drew's hand up. But yeah, we've got you on twice. I guess you maybe had to reconnect, but hopefully the other one will wink out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, no problem. I haven't been doing much bench-wise, except I have a 12-volt inverter that a friend asked me if I could try to fix. So not radio related, but electronics related. So that's haven't been doing.
Nope. And will he come back? Honestly, David, we normally don't have anywhere near this kind of problems with Jitsi. It's actually a pretty solid platform. However, free does come at a cost. So, but yeah, honestly, this is like the worst I think we've had in a long time. So, looks like Howard's maybe trying to reconnect, but a little choppy. But, oh, okay, you're back.
Yeah, that I was just going to say when I got dropped there that not much is doing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, that's it. I think we are at the end of our little circuit here. David, did you want to share anything with us before I'll give you the last gasp as to what else you're working on other than getting your zBitx into the field?
I was gonna ask, is everyone on like Starlink or something like that? Like they're all signals keep losing.
Right. Yeah. No. I think most of us. I'm on a wireless to home to a cell tower, but no, I think most people are hardwired. But yeah, no. Yeah, it's kind of strange tonight. It's even Peter. He sent me a private message just saying that he just kept getting booted out so much, so he just packed it in a little while ago. So that's very unusual.
I haven't done too much electronics or radio and stuff like that. I've just been like so busy with work. Because I don't know if you saw in the mailing list, I work for a company that manufactures circuit boards. So we're going through a big software change. So I've been just busy with that. And by the time dinner or after dinner comes around, I'm like just too burned out to do anything. But the one I was playing around with recently was, well, I kind of hacked it up a little bit. Let me see. I don't think it's going to work.
Oof. Okay. Yeah.
So that's a Raspberry Pico with a GPS module on the side. I ripped out the QRP Labs low band pass filter. Basically, this is a whisper transmitter. So I think it's around 10 milliwatts, 15 milliwatts or so.
Okay.
Mind-boggling what that can do distance-wise.
So it's essentially the circuit that you'd have on a Pico balloon, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just a little heavier.
Right. Okay, but the proof of concept worked, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. It's something I've never actually done, and I have all of the components to do it. So I think you've just inspired me to, one more project on the docket.
So I use that one. That's the Pico because it doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I couldn't get the time sync. So that's why it has the GPS module to do the time sync. But in the shed, I've got a Raspberry 2, and that's just picking up the time sync through Wi-Fi into the house and into 20 meter dipole just sitting on top of a regular 6-foot fence type of thing.
Yep. And again, just 10 milliwatts or thereabouts.
That one's running 100 milliwatts.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
Well, one thing I was going to mention, because I work for circuit manufacturer, and one thing when Peter was mentioning about sending off to PCB and stuff like that, it's if you look at the cost of PCBs, like a circuit board that local customer buys, way cheaper, obviously sending it overseas and stuff like that, because the boards are typically like 18 by 21 inch. The panels, we call the panels, and then however many circuit boards you stick in there. So what PCB Way and stuff like that does is they just kind of group, because they've got so many people ordering boards or circuit boards, they just put it onto a panel, and that's how they can, I guess, produce it cheaply. But one of the things I discovered the other day, because I went into the office, was something I had not seen before, and it's called, they said it's a coin. I'm like, what do you mean a coin? So what people are doing with circuit boards is they have a hole, and in that hole we order a copper coin. Almost looks like a copper coin. So what they do is they press it into the hole on the PCB board. So it's almost like you're building the heatsink into the PC board. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
No. Okay. So they're ordering it with the hole in the board, essentially, right?
Yeah. So they'll send us the Garber files with the hole, right? And so once we actually manufacture, or the engineering department will figure out what the actual diameter of the quote unquote coin, and then we order from a company that forges, I guess, the copper coin.
Yeah.
So they can press it into the circuit board, and that way you have like a built-in heatsink in the PCB itself without having to use something externally.
It's like that penny heatsink I made.
Yeah.
Remember that?
On top of the transistor?
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's cool. So now we just have to wait. You'll let us know when your company starts keeping things, I don't know, what do you call it, province side, I guess, so we can, start putting orders in. I'm just surprised that nobody in North America has, stepped up. Maybe it's just not possible to do them that cheaply, but to compete with JLC, PCB, and PCB Way, like if they get sufficient number of orders, why can't it be, done here? I know we have Osh Park in the States, right? But
I think it's just the cost, like because of the manpower, like they'll have to have someone in engineering accepting the Garber files, and they have to, lay it out and all the layers that they have and whatnot. It's like there's a lot of steps to get to the point where it's actually manufactured. If you go into like YouTube and you do a search for VIA Systems, which is the old name of the company, I don't know if I shared that video, VIA Systems, you kind of see all the steps that they do here in Toronto, Scarborough. But it's like quite fascinating. It's like when I first joined the company, I always thought, why does it cost so much to, have like a 4x6 circuit board or whatever? But then when you start to realize all the different steps that's involved, it's like, okay, I can understand.
Right.
And the equipment and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. Thanks again for sharing all of your information and knowledge with us, David. Unless anyone else has any final comments, we'll say good night. Next meeting is the 3rd of September. That'll be our regular meeting. No, I'm sorry. No, that is not a regular meeting. That's another mixer meeting. So similar format to this. Regular meetings commence in mid-September, 17th to be exact. But anyway, and for what it's worth, my bench has an RFID project that I'm working on, so maybe I'll sub to report on that next time we meet. So, all right. Anyway, good night, all. 7-3, and happy radio frequencing.
Very good. Good night, guys. Nice meeting.
Have a good night, good week, and a good weekend.
And
Bye all.
73 all.
Thanks.